So let's now talk about channeling the Quintessence of Satan from 1999. Silenius left the band after Supreme Immortal Art, and they got another vocalist called Teresa's. What's your opinion on this one, Walternus?
Channeling the Quintessence of Satan. This is the first album without Silenius, and entering an underrated vocalist by the name of Teresa's. This album is just pummeling black metal. This is just straightforward. This is brutal, heavy. This is just an album that you put this on and you will be just amazed by how fast and how just consistent it is.
Yeah, you're right. Like I say, if you think Apocalypse was brutal, you haven't listened to this album. Also, for newer, for people that want to get into Abigor, I wouldn't recommend this album because it's not easy to get into. I get into the album pretty easy, but it's not the easiest to get into.
If you're a fan of black metal, like blasty black metal, like Dark Funeral, Marduk, you're gonna love this album.
Yeah.
Just be prepared for the experimental they did in this album, because they were this is the time where they started to experiment more harder. Yeah, this time in channeling, they just went to the industrial side.
Yep.
Don't be afraid by the term industrial. It's nothing like bands like Mysticum. It's nothing like bands like Mistorsky. It's nothing like something like Ministry or
nothing
whatever.
Like Aboring or nothing like that. It's just
this is just straightforward. This is black metal. We're not talking about nothing electronic, nothing. This is black metal.
No, I will say the industrial elements are just like noises they use, like in the beginning of the songs or in the middle of the songs. So nothing to worry about, It's just
this is a very great album. Experimenting sounds. The drumming is just so it blows your mind by how fast and how consistent it is. Riffs, great riffs, and Turisas just sounds. This is a very great replacement for Silenius.
Yeah. Even though he sounds like, let's say you are like in your house, like you're in your room, the studio's in your room, and he sounds like he's outside the house. Don't you think that? Because he sounds like far from the the other instruments and stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't sound down under the mix. And just his vocals sound like that.
Yeah, that's why I love this album too. Like for the vocals, they sound like, I don't know, like ghostly. I don't know if that's the correct word, but
Yeah, ghostly. Yeah, howling.
Yeah, but he's a beast, man. He's not better than Silenius, obviously, but he's a great replacement, And to me, he's an underappreciated vocalist because he's great, Also, let's not forget to say the double layer guitars. They sound like chainsaws.
Yeah, they like to that note from the Swedish death metal side, where the guitars are basically chainsaws.
Yeah.
But this is pure black metal. Those chainsaw doesn't even sound death metal.
Nah. Well, you say they also took inspiration from. You remember Dark Medieval Times? The guitars, they also sound like chainsaws too. So they probably.
I want to say they took influence from the Dark Medieval Times, because I don't think Abigor is like Abigor. Yeah, they might listen to black metal, but I just think they just take influence from what's in their mind.
Probably, yeah, you're right on that. But yeah, this album, they went from the beauty of Supreme Immortal Art to pure fucking madness on this one, because it's just so fast, and the song sometimes takes you by surprise, like Wildfire and Desire is one of my.
Oh yeah, Wildfire and Desire, Equilibrium Pass By, Pandemonic Revelation, Demon's Vortex has to be one of my favorites.
Yeah. Let's not forget, you remember the song Towards Beyond? The chorus?
That's the one that comes after, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the industrial elements are minimal. Like on the first song, it's just a bunch of noises, or it's an, I don't know, it's like a, we'll say it's like a factory or something like that, because I don't know how to
The,
explain it.
the noise, yeah, the industrial elements is just noise. It's nothing like, electronics or nothing. Just noise.
Yeah, it's just noise.
It just they're experimenting with sounds. Like that's basically it.
Yeah. Did we talk about the drums on here? 'Cause they,
Yeah, TT is just
like, come on, he's,
amazing.
yeah, he's always creating on every Abigor album, you know. But yeah, this is probably my favorite Abigor album. Some people may be surprised because I always choose, you know, like the beautiful side of black metal, you know, like with keyboards and stuff. But man, this album, I will say, is an exception. I love Nactimen, but this one is my favorite probably because it was my first Abigor album.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a masterpiece like Nactimen, but it's still my favorite. So let's now move on to Satanize 2001. What's your opinion on this one?
Okay, this is where the glorious TT left for a short period of time. Only original member this time being PK. Turisa still in the band. Turisa started to be one of the main songwriters. But this and okay, TT's absent. This is TT's not in this. But we do get the one of a drummer by the name of Mortis Neuner.
Yeah,
He's from Dornan Rage fame, and if you don't know who Dornan Rage is, they're an Austrian symphonic black metal band,
yep,
one of the greatest in the genre, up there with Abigor as the best black metal bands.
from
But I'm
Austria.
gonna be honest, this album, I don't hate it. I really like it. It's not my favorite, and that's gonna be if you're into Abigor and if you know more about Abigor, you will know that there's a still debate if Satanize is up there with the greatest or if it's one of the worst albums. Why do I say that? Because this they got more Mortis in the band, and he's a really important figure in this album. Because this album, if you listen to his project Dorn and Rage and you listen to Satanize, they're basically not the same, but it's basically something he will do.
Yeah,
This album is filled industrial elements, symphonic elements, ambient elements. It's all over the place. This album is basically, let's say, this is the only album of Abigor that's all over the place, and it's bad. It's nothing great. It's nothing. It's just all over the place.
yeah, all over the place and not in a good way.
Yeah, just the clean vocal. There's clean vocals in this, and they're not bad because I have listened to worse clean vocals, but they're not consistent.
Yeah, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
They're just dry.
Yeah,
And but I'm not gonna lie, some songs are great. Galaxies and Aeons Decline. Nocturnal Stardust, my favorite, Satan's Galaxy.
yeah, Satan's
This
Galaxies.
this album has the potential to be a great album because the lyrics about just just the outer space and just that's what I want. I want something original, new, and that's what they were doing in this album. But it's out of it's all over the place. It's chaotic. It's way too chaotic, and not in a good way, like channeling the quintessence of Satan.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, the concept is pretty interesting because they were trying like to bring like Satanism into like the stars or like cosmic, something like that. I describe this album as satanic, cosmic, and chaotic, yet underrated and underappreciated because, you know, some people don't like it, like some people hate it. Like on Metallica, someone gave it like 9 9%. That's I don't know. That's stupid in my opinion because it's obviously not perfect. But let's say it like it's not that bad. You know, it's not that bad.
It's not bad. It's just all over the place.
Yeah.
Don't start with this album, please. Don't. You're gonna get scared away.
Yeah. I would also like to say that they use more industrial elements on these ones, like spacey elements, cosmic elements. You know, nothing
Yeah,
like Dark
remember,
Space though. Nothing like Dark
yeah,
Space.
remember, the dude from Darn and Rage is in this album. He's really the big part of this album.
Yeah. So you are you saying like he's into that, like into like cosmic stuff,
Well, if you listen
or
to Darn and Rage, that's basically his project.
yeah? But yeah, this I will say great vocal work. I mean, not clean vocals, but the harsh vocals by Teresa's. This is actually the second album by Teresa's and the last album. Because on the next album they got another vocalist. Let's move on. Uh, Fractal Possession, 2007. What's your opinion on this one?
Technical as fuck.
Yes.
This album, not my. I don't hate it. I like it. I like it so much. Has so many great riffs. It's just this is their they're trying to be not death metal, but they're trying to do something new again.
It's
This
too technical, in my
album,
opinion.
it's really technical. The returning of TT. Turi says is no longer with the band, and we got a new vocalist by AR.
AR.
Yeah, Arthur Rosas. Um, this dude will be in the band for this release, Fractal Possession, and for the next one. But speaking of Fractal Possession, this album is just this album you might say is all over the place, but it's not. It's actually just technical black metal, let's say.
Yeah. Let's not forget also they also use industrial elements on this one.
Yeah,
Uh, the drumming is like very consistent. Everything is consistent, you know. But yeah, it's too technical. Maybe for my taste, it's too technical, but it's still a great album.
yeah, it's very experimental. This one is very experimental. This is like a cyborg.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, will you say have like emotion this album, or it's just like you say a
Maybe
cyborg
in
or
the
a robot?
riffs, maybe in the riffs.
Yeah, or maybe in the vocals too. I will say just in the vocals because sometimes do they just shriek on this one? I don't remember if they just shriek on this one.
I think they shriek and they use growls.
Like
I'm not
growls and
sure.
stuff.
It's
I
been
think
a
it's
long.
just
It's
I see mostly it's just growls.
yeah.
But yeah, it's really technical. I will say that this album is like to admire the musicianship of the members of the band. Would you agree?
Yeah, this is the era. Satanize, excluding Satanize and channeling the Quintessence, Fractal Possession to their last album is where they start to basically show off, not show off, show their skills.
Yeah, that's right. They did a lot of experimentations. That's why I call it the experimentation years. You know.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I wanna say to start with this one because you know it's not, in my opinion, it's not easy to again get into. But if you like bands like Marduk and all the stuff, Blast Beats, uh, try this one. Let's now move on to Time is the Sulfur in the Veins of the Saint, uh, 2010. What's your opinion on this one?
Time is the Sulfur. This album is so amazing, I would say. It's not the best, but it's so it takes me into a journey actually. Two songs, clocking in with a 38 with 38 minutes with 12 seconds. It's very, you have to listen to this album with patience. No one can interrupt you. This album takes your attention away. This is like Bell Witch Mirror Ripper. If I know you don't listen to that kind of music like General Doom, but Mirror Reaper is it's considered to be one of the best albums from the 2000s to the 2010s era, like 2017 and all, and to modern year.
Right.
And this is basically something close to that. It's not Funeral Doom. It's just black metal, but it takes me on a journey. It takes away my attention. It's a journey listening to this album. I love it. They still have AR on the band. TT started playing bass
Yeah.
and he started playing guitars too. This album is just this is where you can appreciate Abigor as musicians. Technical, um, really technical. That's all I can say. It's just technical.
It's very complex and intense too, you know.
X complex intense. It's everything in just two songs.
Yeah, and they also, you know, like the passages, like they take you to these passages, but you need like to be like concentrated on this album. I will say it's not my favorite, but I will give it a couple of more listens, you know. Also, will you say they are more deep into like satanic stuff on this one? Because I felt that when I listened to the album and I read some of the.
Once they were in Satanize and once like Turistas came in and when they started doing channeling the Quintessence of Satan, they were starting to be more into the satanic images.
Yeah.
But maybe once we go into Leytmotif Lucifer, you will see that they basically get that image.
Yeah, you're right on that one. Let's move on. Let's move on to that one now. Leytmotif Lucifer from 2014. What's your opinion on that one?
This is just an amazing. This if Bell Witch wasn't released, this would have been my favorite album of the 2010
Oh, well,
from 2020. That 10-year gap.
yeah, yeah,
This would have been my favorite if Bell Witch wasn't released, because this is channeling the quintessence of Satan with atmosphere, with more atmosphere, not just blasting.
you're
It's
right.
still blasting. It still has everything you love about Abigor, but this is more atmosphere.
Yeah,
This album just has so much emotion. Satanize is back in the band.
yeah,
He's not an official. He's not an official member. He's just unofficial. He just do vocals. He's
yeah.
not
He's
a
as a
part of the
guest.
song. It's not a part of the songwriting. This is everything PK and TT right now. Ballet Multi is just an amazing record. Songs like Temptation One, Ego, Temptation Three, Gracias. Those
Across is
songs
pretty
just
good.
are. Those songs are just brutal, atmospheric, and it's not beautiful. It's ugly. Like it has a great production, but it's not beautiful. It's tend to be ugly. It's tend to be satanic.
Yeah,
It just This album is just so great. I don't have so many words. All I can
yeah,
say, just listen to this album, and you will know how to feel, because it's really evil, malignant. It's
yeah.
everything.
It's like if you are serving like Satan, like is this how you serve Satan? Listening to this album, because this album is like I feel like it's very personal. You know, like I will say this is their definitive satanic album. I know Opus is
Yeah,
pretty evil, but this one is just like the lyrics, the feeling of it, like you know. And sometimes they use like choirs. Is that how you say it, choirs?
yeah.
And Silenius is back. He's great. So wow, this album. It's not one of my favorites, but it's like you say, it's amazing, and you need to listen to it because words cannot really describe it. Okay, let's now move on to their last, Höllenzwang, 2018. What's your opinion on this one?
This is my least favorite of Abigor's
Discography?
almost perfect discography.
Yeah.
It's still a great album. I'm not gonna take it away. But this is where they did not. This is the Abigor. This is an Abigor that I don't know what they're doing right now. They're experimenting, but I don't know what they were doing in this album. I like Sort of Silence. That song is just great. It's amazing. None Before Him is another great song. Like this album has great songs. It's just I don't get the same feeling I did with Leytmotif Lucifer, not Timing, channeling the Quintessence. Not even with the Sulfur.
Yeah.
This album it's missing something, and I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, I will
But
say it's missing something too.
the production is not. It sucks. I don't like the production. Selenia's vocals, he's trying to sound like Attila at this point.
You don't like that? I think
I
he
like
did
his
a great
vocals,
job
but
on this one.
I like his vocals, but like he just this time he's just trying to sound a better version of Attila.
You're right. Yeah, he sounds like Attila a lot.
But like always, PK doing riffs, great riffs. TT being an amazing drummer, progressive. This is progressive and technical. Still, it just it needs, if it had better production, this would have been a better album,
And you will like it more if
and
it
I would
has
like
better
it more, of
production.
course.
Well, this album is not one of my favorites, but I will say it's a pretty great album. It's just it could be better. I also have to say about Silenius, like in some of the songs, he sounds like he wanted, like, I mean, he sounds like he was trying to tell us a story. Would you agree with that? Because he has these different kind of tones and voices.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I could say that. Yeah,
yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just I wouldn't recommend this album to people that are interested in Abigor, but it's not bad. And also, it's a very technical album. One of my favorite songs in this album is Christ Descending to Hell. It's pretty great. The Cold Breath of Satan, Sword of Silence. It's pretty amazing. And let's also say that Silenius is on this album, not as a member, but there are also other vocalists on this album, like other people, guest musicians. So that makes it for the album. All right, so this is our reviews for every Abigor album. And now to finish, we're going to say which one are our favorites. I want you to start, Volturnus, if you have the
sure,
list in your hands.
sure. My least favorite, it's no surprise, Höllenzwang. Höllenzwang is my least favorite of the Abigor discography. Next I might say I could say it's Fractal Possession. I love Fractal Possession, but it's way too different. Not that it's bad, it's just not full on black metal. And we're talking about one of my favorite black metal bands.
Yeah.
And to say Fractal Possession, an album that's not like, I feel it's not fully black metal, it's not doing justice. Then I'm gonna put Satanize. Like I said, Satanize, great album. Final album with Turisas. Turisas sounds great with his screeching, but it's all over the place. Clean vocals are not that good.
Oh.
This had the potential to be a great album, but it failed.
Yeah, the concept is great. It didn't
Yeah, the
deliver
concept
though.
is great. The concept, yeah, just the delivery was so weak. Then I'm gonna put Time is the Sulfur. Just the album just puts me on a journey. I really love this album so much. Just it's unbeatable. Then I'm gonna put Supreme Immortal Arts. Supreme Immortal Arts. It's a symphonic black metal masterpiece. That doesn't take it away, but for an Abigor album, it's not the best. It's amazing. I will recommend it to to a lot of people that love the Night Eclipse, the Intro of Darkness Triumphant, the Floral
Witchcraft.
Feed, the Witchcraft by Obtained Slave Man. Just it's amazing, but just it for Abigor, it's not the best.
You're right on
Then
that.
I'm gonna put then up and then I'm gonna put Word of Wisdom, the debut. Like I said, amazing debut, one of the best debuts. They were trying to find their sound. Amazing album from start to finish. It was one of the greatest. Channeling the Quintessence of Satan. It's the next one. Like I said, blasty. Still experimenting. First album with Turi Sauce. It's just brutal. It's brutal. If black metal had another subgenre, it would be channeling the quintessence of Satan with brutal black metal.
Raw and brutal.
I don't want to make another subgenre. We have too many subgenres. But if it was a subgenre, it would be brutal black metal.
Yeah.
And then in channeling, I'm gonna put Leytmotif Lucifer. Like I said, this album, if it wasn't for Mirror Reaper, this would have been my favorite in the 2010 from 2020. It's so atmosphere, it's so evil. It's amazing, the album. And then after that, I will put Noctimen. Noctimen, it's the masterpiece of Abigor. You have to listen to it. It's just beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful albums. Up there with The Night's Eclipse, Lembonic Archmoon in the Scorpio. It's up there with the greatest. And my favorite, Opus 4. No surprise there.
No.
And that's my list.
All right.
Oh, and I forgot the EPs, but I don't want to mention. I don't want to mention them because they're EPs, and we're mostly talking about the full lengths.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I would have to put them, Orc Blue would be upper than Channeling the Quintessence, and Apocalypse will be pretty much at the bottom.
Yeah. If you ask me, I will put Orc Blood over Apocalypse. But this is my list. I will start from 1 to 10, a different. Well, Channeling the Quintessence of Satan is my number 1. Number 2 is Noctimen. Number 3 is Supreme Immortal Art. 4 Opus 4. 5 Verbostone. 6 Satanize. 7 Fractal Possession. 8 is Höllenzwang. 9 is Leytmotif Lucifer. And 10 is Time is the Sulfur. Alright, I know I have Time is the Sulfur as the last one. That I don't like that one a lot. But I will give it a couple of listens. Because maybe I changed my opinion,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my list. I know it was fast, but well, do you have something else to say, Volturnus? Because this was great. It was a great review. It's always great discussing albums with you.
Nothing else to say. Just Abigor is one of the best black metal bands from Austria and in black metal history.
Yep.
No band is like them. They never cease to amaze.
Yeah, they never disappoint. Well, Volturnus, thank you. And see you next time.
See you, man.
Yeah.